Hi guys, this is Archit and I'm going to take you through the installation of Arch Linux the very basic way. Now this process is going to focus on the people who have an EFI BIOS type, which means if you have a legacy BIOS, you preferably should not be following this method. Now one of the basic ways by which you can check is when you plug in a bootable flash drive, if you get a GUI based beautiful menu, then most probably you are using a BIOS, and if you're getting a black and white kind of standard something like that, then most probably you are using an EFI system. A better way is you should check it. Now this tutorial is going to focus on the people who have an EFI system. So basically, we are going to install the Arch Linux KDE desktop environment. We are not going to just start. We're not going to just stop at the server one. So once you have made your flash drive bootable, you can find various of articles online which will help you do that. Now once you have done that, you can just boot into the pen drive, and you will be greeted by the welcome Arch screen. And after that, what I want you to do is type ping google.com. Now why this? Because you should be connected to internet while installing Arch Linux. That is mandatory. Now you can use Wi-Fi also, but I would prefer Ethernet. And if you want to use Wi-Fi, there are various articles also which you can follow to get your Arch connected with Wi-Fi. So once you're connected and you get something like this in your pinggoogle.com, the next thing I want you to type is pacman -sy. Now this is going to get you all the system required packages uh, for the basic installation. So with that done, now I want you all to type pacman s wget and pacman contrib, which is pacman install wget package and pacman contrib. Hit enter on that, and when it starts to proceed with installation, just hit enter, or you can type y. Basically the capital one is the default one, so if you hit enter, it will go on. With that clear, I want you to do is wget archfi.sf.net/archfi. Now this is an script which will give you a nice GUI based application from which you can install Arch. Now with that done, what I want you to do next is go on sh-archfi. Now as you can see, now we are in a GUI based menu. Click on language. I'm setting it in English. Set on keyboard layout. I'm going with the UK layout which is there, and we are going to do to this partition. Now you can use the first one, which is auto partition, but for this particular tutorial I'm going to do with the manual way, so that if you want to do. And now when we are in 48 GB free space, go to new and hit enter on the first one. In the second one, type 300M, that will be a 300 MB. And for the hex code, I want you to type EF00, which stands for the EFI partition. Now you can name it anything. I'm naming it EFI. And we go to the second one, we click on new, enter, enter, and third one also enter. And we're going to just name it maybe Linux, and hit enter on that. Now we're going to write all these changes. So we go to write and hit enter, and type yes completely yes to that, so it's going to do the operation. And after that you can quit out of it. You can go back, and you can select this partition. Boot will go for SDA1, swap we didn't make one, root SDA2, home we did not make, so we're going to hit yes for that. And format devices, yes. And the first one will be EFI 532, enter on that. And with the root one I'm going with ext4, so enter on that too, and we're going to mount it back, and we're going to install Arch Linux. I'm going with the Linux LTS version. You can go with Linux also. Just hit enter, and I'm going to pick up the first two tools and OK on that, or enter. Now it's going to download the Arch kernel and firmware, and it's going to install it. It will take some time. Now this depends completely upon your internet. With that done, press enter, and we're going to config, set a name. I'm just going to give it Arch, and keyboard layout, that will be the same one. Local, now you're going to check your local. Now I'm in India, so I'm giving ENIN, that's for English India, and hit enter on that, and done with that. Now we're going to go set time. We're going to go with Asia and my district. That's it. Hardware clock to UTC. Enter, set root password, give a password which you like. Now this is the root password, so you must remember it. We want to generate fstab. The first option, enter bootloader. I'm going with grub, install grub, and this is going to basically download it and install. Hit enter and give yes to it, and we're going to install bootloader, and select the drive on which you install. We're going with EFI, and enter on that. We go back from there, and we go to ArchDI, I'm going to hit yes for that. And this is going to download the ArchDI script, which is another script. We're going to hit the first one, install and run ArchDI, and the first one, source4.net. And we're going with updates first, and we're going to install Pacman contrib. And now we go back from here, and we're going to install console generic and basically install all these which is there. Just hit enter and let them download and install. Then we're going to make compression tool. I think you should take all of those, but as just I'm just demonstrating, I'm not taking all of those. I'm gonna take the first three and just go with that. Network tools. The defaults are very much okay, so you can just hit enter on that and let that install. And the web browser, these are basically your command line web browser, so we're not talking those, not even recovery tools. So we go back from here, system. Now in here we're going to kernel, that's what we have just taken. So we go back from that, and services, we take all of these services. Now here, if you have Bluetooth, you're going to select the blues and the blues lib, which are the two Bluetooth packages. And if you're using an AMD chip, you're going to uncheck Intel Ucode and check the AMD Ucode. Now if you want how to select, you just hit spacebar to uncheck and check. And after you have selected what's there, you hit enter, and it's going to just install it. You want to enable this, you want to disable DCP, and you want to start SSH, yes. Chronic services, yes. And then numlock, yes, yes, yes. And then we go with file system. Now basically if you're doing multi-boot, you should take OS prober. Other than that, everything is okay. Just hit enter and go on. And sound, basically now here, if you're using Bluetooth, you should take pulse audio Bluetooth, otherwise the defaults are pretty much okay. You're gonna hit okay with that, enter anyways, and install the packages which are there. Just wait for it to install. And now we're not doing any printing, so we just hit back from there, and the XOR, which is our basically display manager, and we go with install and just hit enter. The first two are pretty much okay for anybody. And we go with fonts default, and just we take all these fonts. And now you can even get the Microsoft fonts, which is the True Tone fonts. You get the second one. We select the first one, and I'm going to take even the Ubuntu family of fonts, which is I think at the very end of this list. Yeah, there it is. And I'm also going to take another font, which is maybe TTF font awesome, which is basically some emojis so you can read more stuff. That's it. Back from there, input drivers, video drivers, nothing much there. And now the desktop environment. Now you can select any one of these listed here, but I'm going with the Plasma 5 and Plasma packages. And basically you take all of these, so you hit OK on that. Now this is a little bit big one, so basically you should be connected to a good internet. That's it. Now with that done, you're gonna start SDDM, which is basically the login screen. Now in the KDE application, you can take the first one, which is the Meta, but I'm just going with the selective one because I don't want everything which is there in KDE, just the things which are required, because the operating system we are going to install it does not have too much stuff, and I don't want it to have too less stuff. I just want it to have the basic stuffs which are really required. And after installing those, we head back from there, and we go back from here also, back, and display manager. Now we did it as TDM, which is our login screen. We go back from here, applications, you can go with Office if you want to install, go back from there, internet web browser. Now you can choose any one of those. I'm going with Midori because it's a small one. And with that done, we go back, multimedia. GStreamer will be pretty much okay for anybody who is doing any movie watching and those stuff. So I would prefer you take that. Now, nothing from audio player. We go back from here. Video player, I suggest you take SM player, or you take the celluloid, because those two are pretty much. VLC does not work that good on Linux. So for this purpose, let's take celluloid and hit enter on that. And the system application, Gparted will be. And if you want to do some gaming, then you should probably use Wine and Wine Tricks, those. Otherwise, you may not require any of those packages. Gparted is a good one if you want to manage your partitions of the installation. So I'm going to just take that and hit OK with that. Now we go back in Pacman GUI. We go basically you can install those that are real nice if you want to see what packages are there. We go back from there, back to config menu. Here's the main menu. We go in for config, bash, and basically the default is nano aliases. Now what I like to do is I'm going to use ls3 other than ls. It basically a bit colored and gives me a better feel. So that's what we're going to take, and now we're going to update. Yes, yes, and we go back from there to firewall. You can install a firewall. I'm not doing it here. Now on accounts, so you're gonna add an account, which is I'm going with Ari. It's okay with that. I'm gonna give you a password. It's important you create an account because we just have the root. That's not enough. And after that, we go to list users just to check once everything is added. Yes, is good. Back and sudoers. We want to add our account to sudo, so we don't have to log in again to sudo to do that. Now back from here, we go now this not required. We go back from here and we're pretty much done, I guess. Yeah, we can go back and unmount. So we mount back that and we back and we can just hit reboot from there. And there we are. We're in grub screen. We're loading Oculus and there it is. We are in the login screen and we can give a password and there it is. We are launched up in the KDE plasma screen. Now I'm going to just fix some things around here because this is a virtual box. I'm going to fix now this is a virtual box, so I'm going to fix the resolution so that I can see it properly. Basically everything is good now back in the Arch world, and basically yeah, we have a fully functioning Arch Linux, and that's pretty much awesome for anybody. So if you really like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it if you think it's gonna help someone else. Thank you. It's me signing off.